Hey soulmates, I'm Fluxify Apparels. On today tutorials, I'll be teaching you on how to draft and sew around neck polo. So materials you'll be needing first off is your same color thread, your pins. Then this is called a tape pin, a tape. Yes, it's used to tape the neck of your polo, the collar of the polo. This is a rib material for the collar. It's usually used for collars. Then we have 1.5 yard of polo fabric. It's a very rich polo fabric. It's stretchy on both sides and it's very unique for these particular practicals. So you go ahead and get your pattern paper. We're using our pattern paper. So place your pattern paper, come down from the beginning of the pattern paper to get by 1 inch to get your starting point, and that starting point to serve as our shoulder line. If you have been following my page by now, you should know when we refer to something as a starting point. So I'm going to be joining my lines. So now there is my shoulder line. So for my shoulder line, I'm going to go ahead to mark out my shoulder to bust point, or some persons call it the chest line. So mine is 10.5. You can use 11 depending on your measurement. So go ahead and mark out your accurate measurement. So I'll go ahead and connect my lines with my rule. By now you should know what a rule is. It's our ruler. Yes. So we're going to be going ahead from that our starting point to mark out our shoulder to the top length. Now if you see right from my drafting table on my pattern, I already drafted shoulder to waist. Of course we will not be needing that in this particular practical tutorials. So I went ahead to draft from my shoulder to my length, like where I want my polo to get to. So I'm connecting that. So for this particular polo I use 30 inches. So as long as you want yours, as short as you want yours, you can go ahead and mark out your accurate measurement. So I'm going to go ahead to label on every part of my lines. So we have the shoulder line, we have the chest line, we have the waistline, of which we will not be using. Please take note, we will not be using our waistline. And I went ahead to mark our blouse length, or top length, or your total length, anywhere you want to put it, you're right. So I'm going to go ahead to mark out my shoulder. Now if your shoulder is 16, you can go ahead and add 1 inch. For instance, if it's 16, you can make it 17, or you can make it 17.5. You can make it 18. So for this particular practical, I'm going to be making use of 18. So I marked my 18 on my shoulder line, and I went ahead to my chest line and marked my 18 too. That is 18 divided by 2 is 9. So I'm going to mark out my 9 inches and connect those lines to form a straight line where my armhole is going to be sitting on. So I went ahead on my starter point to mark out my neck width. We call it wideness. So I used the standard neck width as 3.5. Then I came down on the neck region by 2.5 inches. Now you can choose to come down with any of your desired length. So I went ahead to connect my 2.5 inch, and I'm going to connect the just the way you see me do on my pattern paper. So right now we have our shape. So I'm going to be using my over curve to form my round neck. So here we have it. Our round neck is ready and beautiful. So on my shoulder part, on that ample line, I'm going to be coming down by 1 inch and connecting it back to our neckline. Yes, because our shoulder is not straight, our shoulder is slopey. So this gives it a slopey effect. So I'm going to go ahead to mark my armhole. So for this particular armhole, I'm going to be using 9 inches. So I came down from that 1 inches, we came down from this. Just look at where my tape is. So I marked my 9 inches. And I'm going to get the midpoint. The midpoint of 9 inches is 4.5. But I decided to divide it with my tape. So if you don't want to divide yours with your tape, you can just use whatever you use for the armhole, divide it by 2. So mine is 4.5. Then I came out of that 4.5, that region, that midpoint, I came out by 0.75. You can choose to come out by 1 inch, but I decided that I'm going to be coming out by 0.75. So for me to get my armhole now, whatever I had on my chest line, that is what I'm going to be placing on that my 9 inches region. I hope you're getting me. So now let me explain again. So on that point where my pencil is, I'm going to be extending the lines because that is my armhole line. So whatever I got on my chest line, I'm going to be marking it right there. And I'm going to be connecting the 3 points together, point 1, point 2, and point 3, to form my armhole. So go ahead and get your armhole curve and connect the first 2 points and connect the others together, just the way you see me do on my pattern. So here we have our armhole lines. Beautiful, and the neckline beautiful. So now, for the sake of this pattern, we are going to be using whatever we have on our chest line. That's what we're going to be marking on our top length, because that's the largest part of our body. So we have it is straight. The polo is not a fitted dress. That's why we're not working with the waistline. So if you have this, if you are following step by step, you should be having this on your pattern paper. Mind you, on your neck region, that is your neckline, you can decide to come down by 3.5. You can decide to come down by 4 inches. Okay, but me, I did 2.5 here. So it felt like it was too, it was high. So you can go ahead and alter yours. So this is my back pattern. On your back pattern, you go ahead and mark your starting point that will serve as your shoulder length, your shoulder line, sorry. Then I went ahead to mark my shoulder to chest line and my shoulder to my top length. So whatever you use in your front pattern, that's what you're going to be using in your back pattern. So for my shoulder to my bust, I had 10.5. Then shoulder to my top, I had 30 inches. So just go ahead and connect all the points together, just the way you see me do on my pattern. So if you are yet to subscribe to my page, please do well to subscribe to my page. So I went ahead now to mark my neck. The neck, I came out by 3.5, the same thing I did with my front. But for the back length or depth of my neck, I came down by 1.5. You can decide to come down by 1 inch, but don't go more than 1.5. So I'm connecting all the lines or the points to form this box. So I'll go ahead and put the curve on my back neck, just the way you see me do. Here we have our round neck. So I'm going to go ahead to mark our shoulder line, which is 9. Please don't forget. I marked 9 on my shoulder line. That is 18 inches divided by 2, which gave me 9 inches. So I'm going to come down from that point, that my shoulder line, by 1 inch. And when I was done, I'm going to be connecting it back to my neckline. So we're done. So whatever I had from that my shoulder line, which is 8, I'm going to be going to my chest line to mark that same 8, so that I can have a straight line for my armhole. And that line is where the armhole is going to be sitting. So I'm going to be connecting the lines together, connecting the points together. And here we have our straight line. So this straight line is where our armhole is going to be sitting on. So from the 1 inch that we came down from the shoulder region, we're going to be marking our 9 inch which is our round armhole. My round armhole is 18 divided by 2. I got 9, so that's what we have there. So I'm going to be ruling a straight line. And so this is what you have here. This is where our armhole is going to be sitting on. So next up, I'm going to be placing my tape on the sloped line, shoulder line, which is to where my armhole is. That's 9. I'm going to be dividing it by 2. So I had 9 divided by 2 is 4.5 to get my midpoint of my armhole. So for this back midpoint, you're not going to be using 1 inch or 0.75. You're going to be using half an inch, that is 0.5 inches for the back armhole. So I went ahead to mark my round bust or round chest on my armhole line. So I'm going to be connecting the 3 points just the way you saw me do it in the front pattern. That's the same way you're going to be doing it in the back pattern. So get your armhole curve and do the same thing you see me do right now. And here we have it. Our armhole is ready. So remember that whatever you have on your chest line, that's what the same thing you're going to be having on your top line. That is your full length. So here we have it. It is very simple and easy to cut. So go ahead and cut your pattern. Place your pattern on your fabrics. And please, okay, on this particular video, I added allowance because the person is on a big size. So, but in your own pattern, please don't add any allowance. Take the person's measurement and give your extra if you want to give your extra. And maybe you did not give extra, you can still mark out your extra. So this is my front pattern and this is my back pattern. So we are ready. So I'm going to be going ahead to draft our sleeve. So as you can see, I've folded my sleeve pattern into 2. It's on fold. So I'm going to be going ahead to mark the sleeve length. That is the length of my sleeve. So the length of my sleeve for this particular tutorials is 10. So I'll go ahead and mark my 10 inches. So the remaining 2 inches on the pattern paper is my allowance. So but we've not gotten there yet, just follow me. So I went ahead to connect my points together. So I went ahead to mark my cap height. Yes, my cap height, which is 4. For a bigger size, you can use 5. So 6 or 5 is very okay, and 4 is very okay also. So I went ahead to connect my lines. Please go ahead and connect your lines the way you see me do. So on that cap line, I'm going to implementing my round armhole, which is 18 on that cap line. So the 18 divided by 2. Remember, you're not just going to type, you're not going to mark 18, you're going to mark 9, because 18 divided by 2 is 9. So you see me, I've added my 9 inches. So on my round sleeve, that is the length of my sleeve, I added 16. That 16 divided by 2 is 8. So I marked that 8, and I'm going to connect the points just the way you see me do. So I move ahead to the top of the sleeve. Remember that the cap height is 4. Divide that 4 by 2, then mark it just the way you see me marking it on the pattern. So I got to mark my point, which is 2. Then I'm going to connecting the points together. You just need a short line of about 6 inches so that you can do what you want to do. So I was done. So from the center of the sleeves, I'm going to be coming out by 2.5. You can as well come out by 3 inches. So on this particular pattern, I came out by 2.5, and I'm going to be ruling a straight line. This alone forms a cross for me. Now it's going to determine where my curve is going to pass through. Do you understand? So just follow me, you will not get confused. But in any way you get confused, please go back to the video and watch again. You will get it. So I'm going to be using my armhole curve to curve exactly the way you see me do. Just follow the way I'm curving this sleeve, and you will get, yes, you will get it right. Just follow the way I'm curving my armhole curve. So I'm connecting all the lines. Just follow me and you will surely get it right. So this is me, I was done. So I went ahead to put allowance again, because on the main polo I added allowance. So I went ahead to add allowance. So on that part where the allowance is for the sleeve, you fold it in and cut, just the way you see me do on my video. Yes, this is how it should look. So I went ahead to cut my sleeve. So bring back your cut polo, place it right side facing right sides, and join the shoulders. So I went ahead to join my shoulders, and this is what it looks. So you're going to go ahead to measure round your neck to get the accurate round neck measurement, so you can cut your collar. So I went ahead to fold my collar in a pattern where the way I want it to be or appear on my polo. So I went ahead to pin it down and measure my round neck. So whatever your round neck is, please go ahead and measure your round neck. So in this case, in this particular tutorials, I'm supposed to measure lesser, like drag it when I'm sewing, so it can lap on my neck very well. But I didn't do that. I wanted it to just stayed round my neck, like the accurate round measurement. So which is not supposed to be. So you're supposed to, as you're sewing it, you're dragging it. So I went ahead to stitch the edges of the round neck collar, and I'm going to fold it in the way I want to sew it round on my neck. So I'm going to go ahead to pin down. So this is how it should look. So the part where we join should be at the round. This is how it's going to sit on my polo. So the part where you join should be at the back of your polo. So I'm going to go ahead to pin round my neck, just the way you see me do. Just pin around your neck, then go ahead and sew on it. Then make sure the part you've sewn, you can go ahead and weave. So for this particular collar, it is firm and strong, so I will not be needing any form of taping by the neck. So but I'm going to drop another tutorials on how to make your polo, perfect neck. So I will be using the taping, but for now let's go ahead and join our sleeve. We're going to be attaching the sleeve, the center part where you notch, we're going to be attaching it to the center part of the polo. So just the way you see me do, I pin down, and I'm going to be going ahead to sew round my sleeve. It is that easy. So just go ahead, do the same thing you see me do, and sew on your. So I went ahead to stop stitch on my round neck, and this is how beautiful it is. Please, before you top stitch, be able to weave your clothes. I went ahead to join my sleeve. Please weave every edges and top stitch on your sleeve the way you see me do. I shifted the excess to the shoulder part, and I'm going to be top stitching on top. I went ahead to fold my sleeve hem into two and top stitch on top. So this is how it looks, very pretty. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to flip over to the wrong side and go ahead and join the sides just the way you as going to see me do. So I'm going to join the size. Please weave. This is a personal dress, that's why I did not bother to weave. So before you sew, ensure to weave so you have a knit. So I went ahead to press. So this is my sticker. I'm going to be placing it directly on my fabric and ironing. I'll place the fabric on top and sprinkle a lot of water and press on it for a long time, like press. Then when I was done pressing, I'm going to remove the nylon that stays with stickers. Please subscribe to my channel. Bye.